In this part of Clickers in the Classroom, we're going to talk about viewing the results. And of course, this means you've created clicker questions and you've decided if you're going to use a sign-in sheet for their clicker devices or if you're using a participant list. And if you use the participant list, it does mean that you have to load that list first, and so we do need to talk about that to make sure that we see the results correctly. But let's start off with the method that I use the most, which is the sign-in sheet method. And so to do that, the best way is for me to get out of PowerPoint. I'm going to close that completely because when we do need to go back into PowerPoint, I'm going to look at that. But from this dashboard, the Turning Point dashboard, I'm going to go over to Manage. Now remember, this is where we viewed our participant list and that type of thing. Well, first of all, I might clean up here just a little bit if I wanted. If I have an extra participant list, which is what this one is, you can right-click on it and you can delete. Okay, and to load a participant list, remember this one is the one that came in incorrectly, and this is the one that I copy and pasted, and I can just double click it and see, and it'll load the information from that. Now, I didn't use the participant list yet, I just used the clickers. So the important thing to do here is to close this. And since I really wasn't using participant list, I'm going to be more interested in the sessions. Now, if you saved a session to your desktop and then you copied that session to your USB drive, you can import that now. If it's on that, when I say a USB drive, it might be on the radio frequency, any of this stuff. If you're in the classroom and you say, okay, we have finished this session and I want to take it with me, then you may need to export the results of your session. Okay, so let's say I am in the classroom and I'm going to export those results. These are all the sessions that I've recorded. So very easy, I just pick my session, which is automatically date stamped, save that, export it to my flash drive so I can take it with me. Okay. One of the sessions that I saved earlier was called Practice Session 2, so I can double click that to load, and it actually denied me the chance to show you some of the more detailed ones because I double clicked it. I guess if I selected it, perhaps this would be a better way. I could go to Reports. Same thing. Double click it, select it, click Reports, and I'm there. Now by default it shows the results by question, and this is nice because I can check the general understanding of the class and the participation. 7 people participated, yay, everybody got that one right. I think I've got the same question in there twice on this particular one, but I don't want to see it that way. I want to look in more detail, but I used a sign-in sheet, right? So I want to know the students by participant. Well, here is their device ID number. Now, what I do with this sometimes is I print this. Maybe even while I'm in the classroom, depending on where I am, I might print this, and I'll go through and just mark this out and write using the sign-in sheet for the day and write the student's name above it. You can certainly do that. You can export this as Excel file. That's really nice. As an HTML. HTML means like a web page, and that's going to maintain this formatting very nicely like this. So you can go through and look at that. And I wish I had more questions to show you there, but you get the idea. Just so I can show you something with a little more detail, I decided I would go ahead and bring in one of my sessions from some of my classes. So to do that, what you're going to do is go to Session, and you're going to import. Okay, and I happen to have the location already pasted, and so there it is. And these are sessions I save very quickly. You can see their time and date stamped, so this is fantastic. I'll just pick this first one. I haven't even looked at it. Now, here's the thing. It needs to know if it's going to leave it where it currently is or if it's going to move it into the place that it keeps all your sessions. I'm going to let it go ahead and move it so that I'll be able to find it easily later. And it tells me that it was successfully added, so that's great. And so now when I look, see here it was 2014, here it is. So I'm going to double click that one, or I can click it and then go to Reports, but I think I'll just double click. And so here we go. Now, it's showing it now because I had looked at it previously as participants, and you can kind of see that on question number 1 they chose the wrong answer. On question number 2 chose the wrong answer. Now here's a different device ID, and again you see there's some problems here, some misunderstanding, right? So anyway, this kind of gives you an idea. The same questions each time, and then you say, oh, they got this one correct, they got the right answer. So you know, I kind of can see what's going on there. Okay, so that'll show you that. Now if I wanted to look at this by question, I can see how the class in general did. Correct answer was C, all of the above, and you can see didn't do so well on that one. Whoops. Here's another, oops, I'm sorry. Go back, I scrolled too quickly there. Okay, so here you can see how divided they were on this one. And again, the correct answer and the percentages and the actual count. So you get to see that. Detailed results, you can see for each individual answer device how they did. Now if you want to score them for that particular day, then you can kind of see how they did. And now in this little sampling of data, not too good, right? Really having trouble here as a class, but this might be something I want to go back and look at. You know, here I have to select 2 questions to compare results. Maybe this first one on Hawthorne studies as well as the second one on Hawthorne studies. So I say, did they get any better? Well, a little bit. So especially if you ask the same question in 2 different ways, right? Okay. So that shows you a little bit about the reports. Again, you can print these, you can export them to HTML. So a lot of power here in terms of what's possible. So, you know, and again, now, so this works out very well. I think what I'm going to do to chunk this is if you used a sign-up sheet to chunk this video lecture. I'm going to stop here and I'll do one more session showing you how to load the participant list into PowerPoint so that you're not just looking at a clicker ID, so that you instead can actually look at these names. But to load the session, you can see very easy, merge sessions, export them, you know, however you want to do that, and then you can just go back and forth between sessions. Okay, thank you very much, and that's all for this one. And again, in the next one I'll show you how to load that participant list. Thanks.